Hey there, welcome to First Five. If you're looking for encouragement, you came to the right place. Let's dive in. I was having a conversation with a good friend about the future, and we began to talk so much about what is in our future. What do we have planned? What does it look like? What should it look like? And I'm very future oriented. Like on the Strength Finders test, like futuristic is quite literally one of my greatest strengths. So I always have this tendency to think toward the future. And what I've realized is that often when my mind is so set on future things, I can lose sight of what's happening in the now. I can lose context for what's happening in the now because my mind is so focused on the future goals, future dreams, future achievements, future opportunities, future ways in which my family will be better off than they are right now. Future. When my mind is so focused on the future, I often tend to neglect the present. Until we begin to have that conversation about when we look at the future, what do we see? What do we want to see? And then ultimately, what's most important? I've gotten to a space in my life where I feel like I've really had to keep the main thing. Like, yes, future is important. Like, you fail at what you do not prepare for. So it's important to plan for the future. It's important to prepare for the future, but you also have to understand, in all truth, the future is not promised. Tomorrow is not promised. Tomorrow has enough worry of its own, and it's not promised to you. Your next breath is not promised to you, if I'm being honest with you. But the greatest experience you can have in life is to simply live in the moment, live in the midst of whatever is happening in your present, and ultimately keep your focus on the one thing that is eternal. Jesus, the Lord, focusing your attention on God. The future's gonna come. The future will meet you. It'll be here before you know it. All we have right now is an opportunity to dwell in the presence of God, to sit with Him, to keep Him at the forefront of our mind. It really is that simple. And we often make it complex because of our nature, but it is that simple. Keep God present. Keep Him at the forefront of your mind. Allow that to be what you focus your energy and your attention on, instead of the future and what's to come. And I love the way that David puts it in the Psalm, where it's not so much future oriented, but he says this: the one thing that I seek. Oh my gosh. There's so many things that I seek. There's so many things that I want for my future, for my life. There's so many things that I'm going after currently even. And I have to be reminded, I have to remind my soul each and every day of this truth right here, of the truth displayed here in Psalm 27, verse 4. It says, one thing I ask from the Lord, this only do I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze on the beauty of the Lord and to seek Him in His temple. One thing I ask from the Lord, this is the only thing that I seek. That's what David says, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The only thing that David seems to seek is to be in the presence of God. And we know that He's human and He messes up, and that's not the only thing that He seeks. There's actually a lot of other stuff that He seeks in the scriptures that aren't so good. But I love the sentiment that's placed here, that our heart's desire, our soul's longing would be to dwell in the presence of God. That would be the thing we want more than anything else, more than a great future, more than great opportunities, more than great pathways. God, the thing that we would want more than anything else is to dwell in your house, dwell in your presence forever. Not just now, but forevermore, because we put our faith and our trust in Jesus. The one thing we seek is togetherness with you, unity with you, relationship with you, presence with you now and forevermore. This is the only thing that I seek. And I think we have to, in this day and age, refocus, reprioritize what is most important in our life. I know that job is running you ragged. I know you've placed a lot of hope in your accomplishments. I know you've placed a lot of hope in your relationships. I know you've placed a lot of hope in your degree or in your status or in your money. I know you've placed your hope in those things. I'm just asking you to reprioritize what's important. All those things are cool, great. What I want you to do is focus your mind and your heart on being in the presence of God, dwelling in the presence of God. Notice that he does not say that the thing that he seeks to do is do incredible things for God. Notice that he does not say that the thing that he seeks to do, the one thing that he seeks to do is to climb the mountain, is to accomplish great things. No, he says, one thing I ask from the Lord, this only do I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life. The one thing that we should have we should put all of our eggs in this basket. We should have all of our attention focused on this, to dwell in his presence. And when we're dwelling in his presence, he keeps us, he protects us, he loves us, he cares for us, he walks with us through every situation, through anything that we're going through. So as long as we're focused on him, on what he's doing in a present moment, just being in his presence, we don't have to worry about our future. We don't have to worry about what's to come. If we've prioritized him at the top of our list, if he's the only thing that we seek, if we choose to dwell in his presence, we don't have to worry about what happened in the future. That we can have peace in our present because we dwell in his presence. Because it says, for in the day of trouble, he will keep me safe in his dwelling. See, when trouble comes, when stress comes, when anxiety comes, when depression comes, when the overwhelming weight of the world comes, he will keep you safe in his dwelling, in his presence. He will hide you in the shelter of his sacred tent and set you high upon a rock. This is who God is. You see, the reason why we choose to dwell in his presence, this is why we seek him, is because we know there's safety, we know there's shelter, we know there's peace in his presence. And so, Lord, would you do that in our lives today? Would you make yourself the number one thing in our lives? Would you make yourself the focus of our lives? God, would you help us? We need help. By the power of your Spirit, we need help to prioritize you as first, to prioritize you as the only thing that we seek. And we know that because we've put our trust in you, because we choose to dwell in your presence, you will lead us to where we're going. The things that our heart desires, the things that you've placed in our heart to desire, you will lead us to those things, but we have to put ourselves in the center of your will, dwell in your presence all the days of our lives. That is our ask from you today, God. That is what we seek, to dwell in your house forever. I really hope that this encouraged you today. We'll talk soon.